Hey guys, I'm back with another What if Asta has the night sky sword, and the blue rose sword. And where I left off is Asta and Noelle going hand to hand, like sword to sword combat, but Asta was using the night sky blaze sword, where he kept the blue rose sword into his 4-leaf grimoire, and he kept the 5-leaf closed because he wants to have a good challenge. And for Noelle, she had this kind of sword. If you guys remember, it has it's the same thing as Asta's blue rose sword, but more like in her sword has ice spirit. For Asta's case, he has a dragon ice spirit in his blue rose sword for Asta. And for Noelle, it's an ice spirit in her sword. And this sword was gave to her by someone that she challenged a long time, who gave her the sword because she was worthy of this power, but they told her to keep the sword under wraps and to find people to trust. So Noelle was basically learning sword techniques from this person she knows. So basically she has uh basically she has like she haven't mastered her ice spirit drive yet, because she doesn't have she's not fully trained up for the first stage. It's like, you know how his spirit drive. Imagine her with her sword and hers on her arm, basically like that. That's how it is. And she has a ice, like half ice crown. But for Asta's case, since he has the night sky blade sword and the blue rose sword, he gets like half and half transformation. If he can't use both swords at once. So basically he can summon the night sky blade sword. It's basically like the dark and night. So basically he gets like one, like basically like and the wilds. Basically the same thing when he try to measure his dark light spirit into his night sky blaze sword, will give him half the form. Basically, he will get a crown just like and Noelle will. So that's enough explaining. I'm gonna begin after they went back into the Black Bulls. Um, in the morning, Noelle and Asta does do the chores, because since Noelle is more diligent and she loves challenges, she does the challenge. Basically, she's like Asta from the original. She's basically like Asta. She's like in a way like Asta in the original, but she's not oblivious for her feelings. Asta, in case, will know about this, but he won't tell until he's fully sure. Yeah, after they do the chores, Noelle and Asta do go back to sparring, like basically like they usually do, like how I showed you guys in the first video. So yeah, basically they do that every single time until they got the first mission to Magma's village, basically. And when they were supposed to kill Boris, Asta does. Since Asta has magic, he could fly. But but he choose to grab his sword and no, actually he can just summon a dark wing or ice wing. Basically, Asta is that, like, actually no, never mind. Basically, Asta can fly with magic, or he could just fly on the sword. But he will just fly on the sword for fun. Noelle basically could just fly. So basically, they all fly into the sky with Magma pointing out where to go. And Noelle and Asta are getting like massive boars, like not slayed down early. So since they got slayed early, yeah, actually they got killed very fast because Noelle and Asta wasn't even playing. They went back to the village before the fog came in. The fog was coming in, and Michael was wondering there's no fog here before. And then before anything happened, Asta dashed in, opened his 5-leaf grimoire, and the anti-magic covered his night sky blaze sword. He cut that with a full strength slash, and they was running through the smoke, and they was seeing the old man of Magma's village was about to get killed. Asta, with his quick thinking, dashed and did a vertical square, cutting all the ice things in half. Magma came in, shattered the ones that was about to kill the villagers. Noelle put a water barrier around them since she is more powerful and more skilled. She has her sea dragon's cradle. I think that's sea dragon's lair. Sea dragon's lair. That's what I meant. Sorry. She does almost. She almost. Nah, actually, she has a sea dragon's lair. So basically, she protects them, and plus she has sewer skills and ice abilities too. So basically, they will deal with these guys very, very actually fast because Magma is like literally like the person in the background doing like fireballs, and Noah and Asta is going in for attacks. Basically, everything Asta and Noel does time up, and then they do the suicide thing. And basically, everything they report back to Yami and explain everything. Even the Wizard King knew about this now, and now it came to the dungeon arc when they have to go with Luck. Basically, Luck will basically still go off, and will still meet Asta, and then they will talk, and so will Mimosa and Noel, because since Mimosa knows Noel was doing secret training things behind people's back without them knowing and pretending to be weak. After Klaus was about to say something, Asta stared at him and said, "Bro, have you seen my magic power, the magic night exam?" He said, "No, because I wasn't there." And I said, "Yeah, so I wouldn't be talking trash." And everything goes in the same. Asta Noel helps Lux much better since Asta can hide his magic because he has anti-magic. He could just surround himself with anti-magic, hit the guy, and then he will still do the same thing, escape. Still get pushed down. Basically like that. And then Asta had to come to save him. Basically the same thing what happened to Lars, but now Asta is more powerful, and so is Noel helping him. Basically, they took out Lars much quicker, but Klaus tied them up, so they didn't know what to expect next. But when they went in the treasure vault, Asta does get dragged into the demon dweller sword without getting punched in it this time, and it went as 5-leaf grimoire. Noelle just chilling. Basically, she has two things. Actually, no, she does get a water spirit, but she will not learn how to activate it yet. For ooh boy. In this timeline, we'll find a sword like this. Basically, it's like Asta, but it's green. So basically, asks Asta, "Can you help with something?" Asta looks at him and says, "Yeah. Does this sword look like your other sword?" And Asta does look, and he said, "It looks like Ruby Rose sword, but it's green." And then Asta feels a magic in it. And he said this might be wind magic. And he has a spirit. He told about this and he told the spirit is calling for you. So Yuna got intrigued and picked up the sword, and then it started glowing. And then at the time, actually, actually saw the spirit, and it was actually by his side this time. So basically, that happened. But Asa does Claire. He can teach how to use that sword for sword combat, and Asta and does agree because he does see Asta using sword combat a lot. And then Lars broke out, and everything goes almost similar in canon. But instead of Noel getting hurt, Mimosa got hurt, and Asta and Noel got kind of angry, and so does because he knows she was trying to be nice to So they actually kind of did one attack. Asta did his how Kirito did his enhanced armament. Asta did this sun like at a rage, so he only did this one time. And sword was basically doing wind magic of it, and Noelle was doing her ice magic. and they almost killed Lars until the dude took him away, and everything happens similar in canon at this point. They go to the Wizard King. Wizard King was asking about, Asta and the Well swords at this time. And he said, "This is my Night Skyblade sword. It will give me like a lot of power. And there's a spirit in here." And he asked can see the spirit, but Asta said he doesn't know how to bring it out, but he knows the spirit is helping him most of the time. And he said, "What about the other sword?" "Well, what other sword, sir?" "The big sword and the little sword and the ice sword." He said, "Oh, my blue rose sword." Yeah, that one has ice magic with an ice spirit in it, ice dragon spirit in there actually. And he said, "Cool." Like Wizard King is inside about Asta's power. And he said, "There's some other swords. It's called the Demon Slayer sword and Demon Dweller sword." And he does explain about them. Because since Asta was like, before they even got to the capital, he was training with the Demon Dweller sword. Since Asta was dealing with heavy swords, he mastered that sword even better. He does black slash. Actually, he put his magic into the sword sometimes, and then he realized he could just put the anti-magic into the sword and make anti-magic slashes. So basically, he could do two things at once, and he learned how to absorb magic. For Yuno case, he does go over sometimes, train with Asta in the sword combat, get him like up to speed on sword combat. He does train with Noelle as well. So basically, they are the three prodigies of sword combat. And Julius does ask about their basically he does ask and Noelle about the swords, and they told the same thing. And then they get invited to the royal meeting basically, and then everything happened. Like Asta was just eating, Noelle just eating normally, not like royals, but she just eating normally like commoners in a way. And all the royals was staring at him, but for Goyam wasn't like, he know these kids are strong, but he just don't like, he's not even staring at them. He said these kids are strong, they might be promised. Leo does see Asta, and I think he's kind of cool. And I forgot Asta's drip. Oh, it's basically like Kirito's, but imagine it in like just a black jacket, gray shirt, and black pants, and black shoes. Basically, that's his drip. And this is the part where Noelle's singing about assaulting her and everything, but Noelle's really not caring about it. And then when Noelle's brother was about to put water on her head, Asta grabbed his hand and said, "Dude, you better chill or leave." And he said, "Make me, you lordly commoner." And Asta was squeezing his hand and said, "You better leave or I make you leave." Then he just let them go, and he said, "Do you want to fight, commoner?" And he looks at Noelle like, "Can I fight him, Noelle?" She looks at him like and just nods. But she said, "Don't kill him." He said, "I won't." Noelle is kind of shocked about Noelle's attitude. Like, she doesn't even care. And he said, "All right, let's get this over with." He does pull out. He pulls out the Night Sky Blade and the Demon Dweller, because since he wants to try the sword out. He said, "Bring it on." Actually, yeah, he just said, "Bring it on." Solid and his sister just so do magic similar, but Asta cuts faster and slash the dragon faster. And the rock mage was trying to get the Asta just dodged and just cut that thing in half. And then Asta said, "Do you guys really want to keep going? This is really pathetic." No, well, no. Asta was just like mocking like the two siblings, saying, "Wow, even Noelle can beat you at this point. No wonder why she was hiding her true strength." He was just chuckling. Noelle just chuckles under her breath. At the table, chuckles too. And then Noelle said, "What did you just say, commoner?" And he said, "Noelle's the worst. What do you mean?" And Asta looks at him like, "Are you sure about that? Because she does play a lot with you. Have you seen her attitude? Have you seen her be sad to you?" Now know what Nozelle's thinking. She never did. Even though much how they put her through pain, she doesn't care. And Nozell does push his pressure on Asta. Asta can stand this. Like, he doesn't really care about this pressure. He will put his pressure on his own. But someone walked to his side, and it will be Noel. Noel said, "Can you two stop making so much noise?" Elsa said, "Are you going to step to me, little Noel?" Noel just looked at him coldly and like, "Can you just shut up?" And there's at least her aura. Her aura was higher than Nozelle's. And he said, "Yeah, that's what I thought." Nozell said it was about the attacker, and then Fogoyan diffused the whole situation. The sibling said, "Why? Why are you so strong? I thought you was weaker." "Yeah, I was pretending to be weak." And to see who's on my power level, Noel saying, "It's probably probably Asta." Asta said, "Yeah, pretty much on your level. And since someone got a new sword with a spirit in it, he has the same power level as us." Noel looks out, and said, "Pretty much." And they said, no, like the brother and sister was about to attack. Also, just how Kirito did when he was with that little girl from the Sword Online, like season one, like when he like tried to help her revive her pet. He dashed to the red, like how he dashed to the redhead girl about to kill her. He dashed to the brother and sister and said, "You better shut up before I kill you both. I don't even care if you're royals." No, I was like laughing, like, "Oh God, you're funny." No wonder why we train a lot. I was really hearing this like train a lot. I also just put his sword back on his back and was like, "Can we go back to eat?" And they go back to eat while the Silver Eagles was paying attention to Asta and Noel. So I was going Don, like that one member dude, and Leo does go to Asta and say, "What's up, man?" And Austin does know he's a good guy, so basically he said, "What's up?" And then they just basically start talking and all that. And he said, "Well, go on step over there too. This isn't original, but I'm just putting it in there because why not? Because I like Fogoyan. He's the one who made Austin basically find his own purpose, basically, like what drived him. Basically, Asta will do same thing and then basically talk, and then Fogoyan does explain about there is a fire sword with a fire spirit in it, but no, it doesn't go to Fogoyan, but it keeps going to Leo. But Fogoyan does get a fire spirit, so but Leo's in his fire sword is stronger. So basically, yeah, Leo does have it on his back. But let me see if I can find the fire sword. Looks like it. Hold on. Yeah, this is Leo's sword on his back. Asta was basically intrigued with Leo's sword. Basically, he sensed a big fire spirits, and he said pretty much Leo is strong. In this timeline, Leo is stronger. Like he's up to like at least his brother and sister's level. Basically, he's up to Barry Alonis level with Fogonyan's level. So basically, he's strong. And he said, "Cool, yeah, we all have spirits in our swords too." He said, "Really?" And then Asta shows the Night Sky blade. Leo sends the spirit, shows Noel's, and He said, "Cool, we might be the strongest." But Asta said, "I'm still being the Wizard King." He said, said, "No, you're not. I am." And Noel said, "Y'all still going on with this?" And they just laugh. Leo said, "Can I be a rival in this too?" Asta said, "Why not? More merrier." So basically, this is where the 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 trouble thing happens. Like like the capital's under attack. Everybody knows where to go. Basically, everything goes back to the original, but Noel's with Asta. We're going out, and his brother was with Asta, and basically everything was in similar. But basically, everybody be training. Everything goes. Asta will able to beat the zombie mage easily. But in this timeline, everything goes okay when they beat the dude and Fogon wrapped him up. Fogon still gets taken away. Even Asta was not fast enough to catch him. And they do attack the people even faster. And then when they saw Fogon's body, they was enraged. Noel, Fogon, Leopold, and Asta, they was raging. Their magic powers go higher and higher. And then the Midnight Sun just like straight up left because their mission is to catch Asta. And then everything goes similar. Leopold does do the stamp on his head. Everybody know who Noel and Asta and Leopold is. So basically their rank is up to level 2. Like they're level 2 magic knights. And basically everything go similar. They do the training again. And then this is where I'm gonna leave it. And actually, no, this is where I'm gonna do something. This is how Asta, Noel, and this is what I'm gonna do. This is how Noel, Asta, and and Leopold train. So hold on, let me find the video. So this is how Asta, and Leopold and Noel's fighting, basically like this. Ignore that right there. Sorry, because I couldn't find a better fighting. So this is how they're training, basically every time. They master their swords a bit more. But Asta hasn't bring out his blue rose sword, but this is how they basically train. They increase their speed like fast. They make it more like stronger. So basically they're training harder. Harder than ever. They keep training to themselves until Asta got enhanced armament. Like Kirito's power, basically. Like enhanced armament, basically. He can make his sword go long or just like make it huge. That's and he could shoot a huge blast from it, but he only can do it 2 times. So basically he's basically yeah. Noel's case Noel's basically case is basically she's not the same, but she's close to like Yu-Gi-Oh's attack, basically the ice attack. Basically she's close, but she's more like she can shoot it at people that are like trapping them. Basically, can do he can trap people and he can do it and basically like that. He can do the same thing as Austin Noel can, and he can trap people. Leopold, my favorite person. He can make a multiple of fire swords, and then launch them, and they'll become fire spears. And he can make them like straight up fast. But he only can do it like 3 times a day. I mean 2 times actually. So basically he doesn't spend that, and that's how basically they keep training until the hold on guys. Where'd that thing go? Hold on. Yeah, that's basically how they train, and to that point, this is where I'm gonna leave it off. I'm gonna make the next part more interesting for you. So yeah, so subscribe, send it to some more people, give me more likes, and I'll make some like I was thinking about this for a while. What if Naruto and Hinata was prodigy couples, and they had godlike powers? So yeah, yeah, peace out, and yeah.